This is a podcast from Planet Radio Huddersfield. For more information, go online to planetradio.ning.com. Broadcasting live from Huddersfield, online at planetradio.ning.com and on social media. This is Planet Radio Huddersfield. On Facebook at facebook.com/Planet Radio Huddersfield. Sam Machin on Planet Radio Huddersfield.
Hello and welcome to our Sunday morning Machin Magic. I'm your host, Sam Machin, and today I am joined by a very special guest, Mr. Thom Marsh.
Morning, guys. Everyone all right?
Awesome. So, Tom, why don't you just introduce yourself for a bit?
Well, as Sam's obviously said, my name's Thom Marsh. I'm 21 years old, and I am leader and co-founder of the Lovely Party.
Excellent. Yeah, that's right. This guy has got his own political party. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed. You should be too. Cool. Obviously, the first track I will just mention was by the Black Keys. It was Howling for You. Such a great track to wake you up on a fine Sunday morning as it is today. Wouldn't you agree, Tom?
Mate, it's absolutely beautiful. Saw them live at Manchester, and they were fantastic.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. I saw them at Nottingham, and blew me away. The future of rock is right there, ladies and gentlemen. It is right there. Excellent. So, I mean, we've got some great music coming up today. Now, me and Tom have worked very hard on this playlist. We've tried to make it what we would class as the perfect Sunday morning playlist. So we've got a bit of classic rock, which will be coming up next in a few minutes, followed by, well, a bit of rap, pretty much a bit of everything, to be honest, isn't it?
There's a nice mix in there. I thought, obviously, I'm a chilled out kind of guy. I just thought I'll do my usual Sunday routine, bit of everything for everyone. So yeah, there's some old school hip hop beats in there. There's some nice old school rock tracks, and there's a bit of everything for everyone else.
Yeah. So I mean, you can just enjoy it. Whoever you are, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Just say the time now is 8 minutes past 10. Don't forget, guys, if you want to get in touch with us to give us your views on whatever we're going to talk about, because obviously today is going to be very much politically based, thanks to my special guest here. Do visit us on facebook.com/Planet Radio Huddersfield. Just leave us a comment and we will read them out. Or similarly, just give us a tweet at Planet Huds. Or if there's any local news near you that you feel that we should know, just give us a tweet at News Planet Radio. Okay, excellent. So I think it's time we go into a bit of classic rock. So first of all, we've got a bit of the Rolling Stones with Jumpin' Jack Flash, followed by a bit of Bowie. So that was David Bowie with Golden Years, and before that we had
Sam Machin.
We had Jumpin' Jack Flash by the Rolling Stones. Excellent. Well, that's put me in a good mood, to be quite honest. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Well, I'm definitely wet now.
So then, Tom, well, I suppose I've really got to ask you, what made you decide to begin your own political party?
I suppose it all started 2010, just after the last general election, when I realised that the Tory party had obviously somehow managed to gain the way into Parliament. It basically started off as an idea in a pub between me and a close friend, like what would happen if we could take control of the government and the UK. The basic idea was be good to each other and party on, but obviously you can't just have that, so we came up with policies, reforms, stuff like that, and it's just basically a party about being good to each other.
Excellent. So the name of the party is the Lovely Party.
Yeah.
So obviously you've kind of pretty much just said that's why it's called. Is that just the reason, like you say, being good to each other?
Yeah and no. I suppose it's a case of we want to promote, like, be excellent to one another and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, we're all here together. But it's not just about people and the public being nice to each other. It's about the government actually taking into account what its people want and stuff like that, which is lovely if it actually works. So, hence why there's a lot of lovelies being used.
Excellent. So, in terms of your manifesto,
Yes.
what does it actually entail? What's in it?
We're obviously an extremely liberal party. There are certain things that a few people might disagree with. Like, for example, one of the major things that we're looking into at the moment is the idea behind a Robin Hood tax, which is a financial transaction tax. Like, big companies, corporations, banks, they already pay this tax, so the system's already set up for them to be able to collect it. It's just a case of increasing it by about 0.05%, which is enough annually to raise about £20 billion in the UK alone. If Europe, it's being voted on in Europe, not just in the UK. If it was to be brought into Europe as a whole, it'd estimate that we'd be able to raise £250 billion a year.
A year?
A year.
Wow. So that would essentially, get rid of the depression, pretty much.
The countries like Greece and Ireland and Iceland that are suffering at the moment due to, like, the financial meltdown and stuff like that, yeah, it essentially means that their debt would be recuperated without the need for further cuts, people losing their jobs, stuff like that. It'd be a far better way of stabilising the economy than putting people out of work, because obviously if you've got more people in work, they've got more money to spend, more money to put back into the economy. Surely that's the system that you'd want in place.
Oh, exactly, yeah. I mean, true.
And then one of the other big things that we're getting a lot of criticism for is our stance on nuclear power.
All right, okay.
The major problem we've got in the UK is that we need a renewable source of energy. We need something that is feasibly that we can use for the next couple of 100 years.
Yeah.
We're currently building wind turbines, solar panels, like decent, green, renewable methods of creating electricity. The problem is they cost too much money and they don't really do anything.
Yeah.
It's kind of there to say, well, we're being a green government, we're doing this and this. It's not economically viable to carry on just replacing parts on wind turbines. We've got to look at something else.
Yeah.
So the two options we were looking at is we build nuclear power stations.
Okay.
As it costs about the same as coal. There's no horrible carbon dioxide, so it doesn't affect the greenhouse effect. There's a huge amount of energy from small quantities of materials, and there's small amounts of waste. Obviously, the major concern is that if it's not properly maintained, then it's dangerous and stuff like that. But if you look at the methods that are being developed overseas in how they look after the nuclear waste and stuff like that, then there's very little risk to the public. The other thing we are currently looking at is industrial hemp and how bringing that in to the UK could boost the economy and stuff. I mean, hemp's been used for thousands and thousands of years for all sorts of different reasons. Mainly fibre as papers and stuff like that, but also there's research being done in America to prove that hemp seed oil can actually cure melanoma, commonly known as skin cancer.
Yep.
There's a few documentaries on the internet circulating about that. If you search for Running from the Cure, I believe.
Yes, it is, yes.
It's about a guy who set up his own hemp farm after looking at the possibilities of curing cancer and stuff like that, and he found that hemp seed oil was good for melanoma.
Excellent. Well, I mean, that is definitely a viable point. If it is scientifically proven, then I don't personally see anything wrong with it. In terms of the nuclear power station, obviously, we know it is a very safe form of producing power. Now, obviously, the only thing that I can see standing in the way is the public reaction. Now, obviously, you can say to them, it's safe. We've got all these safety precautions.
Yeah,
it's just the fact that it's got the word nuclear in it, which will make people worry.
Like, obviously, you say nuclear power and instantly people think Chernobyl or the disaster in Japan and stuff like that. But there are 2 instances in, like, the last 30 years that have happened. Like, you look at the record of nuclear power, and it is safe.
Yeah.
Like, generally, it is considered a safe form of creating electricity.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just a case of persuading it to the public. But, I mean,
If, like, you mentioned nuclear power, yeah, there's, like I mentioned, there's Chernobyl and everything else.
Mhm.
But there's also the big thing about nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
And the fact that everybody's worried about who's got nuclear weapons and stuff like that. Well, we're in the 21st century now. Do you not think that human beings, seeing as we are top of the food chain, there is nothing that is going to wipe us out other than each other?
Exactly.
So why? Why not just work together to create an environment where everyone can live and be happy?
Yeah, well, I suppose that's the main view of the Lovely Party then.
Yeah.
Just to live happy.
For not to have the state interfering in your life every 5 minutes because...
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, excellent. Well, that was very enlightening, so thank you very much. Here's a bit more music then. A classic. So that was a classic from Sugar Hill Gang with Rapper's Delight. Actually, one of the first commercial hip-hop records as well. The time now is 29 minutes past 10, so almost ready for the news. Stay with us on planetradio.ning for more music from likes of the Ramones, Snoop Dogg and MWA. So that was the Ramones with Blitzkrieg Bop. I think I said that right. I can never get it out properly. Oh well.
Blitzkrieg Bop.
Blitzkrieg Bop. Such a good name and such a good song. Like I said, we are trying to do quite a good mix of tunes today to really get that Sunday morning feeling. But yeah, back to the Lovely Party then, I suppose. So, Tom.
Yes.
How far along are you in putting the Lovely Party into, well, I'll call it the political system?
I suppose in the grand scheme of things, as you'd look at it from the outside, we're not actually that far along as a means of actually getting anywhere, like getting voted in or anything. This is due to the fact that we didn't realise how much financial backing you actually need to get something like this off of the ground. Not only do you need to register like your members in your constituencies and stuff like that, but you've got a massive financial cost when it comes to advertising your party and stuff like that and your campaigns.